Greetings and salutations, YouTube. This is Fragments of Memory, aka your friendly neighborhood armchair philosopher. Well, and of course, I want to ask this question. I've been looking at a lot of vids on YouTube dealing with the battle of the sexes, but this isn't really to attack or snipe at anyone. This is more of a philosophical question, and that question is: there are many black women and women of other races, but we'll stick to black women for a minute, talking about enough black men aren't marriage minded or marriage material or whatever the case might be. And my question is, are people really interested in marriage, or do they just want a wedding? Or are they in love with the idea of marriage and not necessarily marriage itself? Because for the bride, it is all the a wedding is all the representation of, it's the day is about her. The celebration, the pomp, the circumstance, the pageantry. It's all about the bride. The groom is merely the man receiving the bride, but generally speaking, the wedding is all about the bride, the dress. Even what's interesting is the bride automatically gets two rings, the engagement ring, and then, of course, finally the wedding band. And you know how I feel about the ring thing. Not saying that I'm 100% against it, but I know where it really comes from. But anyway, neither here nor there. The bride is seen as special. She's treated like a princess. She's treated like a queen. Now, when I look at pop culture, when I look at the things that we've watched as kids and what kids are watching, you know, when Disney shows you tales of a princess, tales of a princess, whether you're talking about Disney's version of The Little Mermaid or Disney's Beauty and the Beast or Disney's Cinderella and Snow White, even the song Someday My Prince Will Come. Many young girls, from what I've been told, have been thinking about their wedding day since since they very could first articulate the ideas of and concepts of marriage. Like little girls are planning out their weddings. And I've had a woman tell me recently that her and her sister would plan about how their wedding would go. So I find it very interesting that there is so much fuss made over the bride. And at the same time, we're sort of taught marriage. But are we really interested in the marriage, or are we really interested in the wedding ceremony? Because nowadays I've heard stories of women having wedding ceremonies marrying themselves. So we just kind of kicked the groom out of the way. And the bride is now just the bride marrying herself, which is interesting and sort of strange to me. But anyway, nevertheless, that's something I have to ask. Is Are women merely obsessed with the idea of marriage instead of the actual practice of marriage? Are women obsessed with the wedding and not the marriage? That's basically my philosophical question. I mean, if you're a lady and you happen to hear this, I would like your honest opinion. And if you're a guy, weigh in on this. You know, video responses are welcome. Um, Even commentary, good, bad, or ugly. And based on some of what some of you all have written to me, I've seen some ugly too. Man. But anyway, that's just something to think about. Like, are we really interested in partnership and companionship, or do we just want a fuss made over us? And I think sometimes people enter the bonds of holy matrimony with that an idea in mind. And the reality is that, like any relationship that you have, it takes a lot of hard work, it takes a lot of grinding. And oh yeah, on a side note, a lot of people talk about not wanting struggle love. But the reality is that all love is a struggle. That to be with someone, to interact with someone, to try to open up and be vulnerable with someone, there are going to be struggles and difficulties because we're all coming from different places. Even if we have things in common, even if our values are in alignment with one another, and they're just and everything is straight like, you know, some pant creases, some really good iron pant creases, you still gonna have friction. And I think too often too, that's another thing. People want a frictionless existence. And the reality is that in life, Whether good or bad, there's going to always be some type of friction. In fact, I was talking, I once was told this, that in every curse there is a blessing. And in every blessing there's some form of discomfort. So even in the most ideal, wonderful, magical, pristine situation, there's going to always be a little bit of negativity in it. There's going to be a little bit of struggle. There's going to be a little bit of a headache, a nuisance. Just on the strength of we are people, and as long as we live on this earth, in this plane of existence, we are not going to have the perfect situation. Well, my 2 cents. Peace, be easy like Sunday morning. Take care.